I'd like to introduce you to Grandpa Joe. Now, who is Grandpa Joe? Everybody's got someone in their life like a Grandpa Joe. He's a friend or a relative who enjoys the outdoors. Now, Grandpa Joe is a responsible firearms owner. He will follow any rule or any law that the government passes. He wants to use his firearms safely to pursue the legitimate cultural history that he has enjoyed throughout his family, probably for generations.
They're going after Grandpa Joe's hunting rifle instead of gangsters in Toronto.
Does Grandpa Joe sound like a dangerous criminal? Because Justin Trudeau thinks he is. But before I tell you what he's up to, let's take a look at where we're at in Canada as it relates to crime in our communities, thanks to Trudeau's policies. Violent crime is on the rise all across Canada. Trudeau has brought in policies that has actually lowered penalties for dangerous and repeat offenders. He's actually repealed conservative legislation that ensured that those who commit violent offenses or who use firearms in committing other offenses face meaningful penalties. The idea is that you keep those dangerous criminals off the street longer, and while they're in prison, there's a better chance that they'll be able to rehabilitate and leave the life of crime that they've engaged in and hopefully live productive lives. When Trudeau lowers those penalties, those criminals are back on the street much earlier, they face less of a penalty themselves, they're back in our neighborhoods and communities and don't have the same opportunities for rehabilitation. So Trudeau has made a specific policy decision to let more and more dangerous offenders out onto the street. And as a result, we've seen crime rise. No big surprise.
Coffin boys, we're putting this dirtbag away.
I'll be back on the street in 24 hours.
We'll try to make it 12.
There are increased amounts of crime in Canada as it relates to firearms offenses. However, those crimes are committed by people who are known to the police, people who smuggle illegal handguns over the border, dangerous gangs. These aren't people who are going to Bass Pro Shop, Cabela's, or Canadian Tire to buy their guns. They're buying them from other gangsters who have transported them over the border illegally. They're not stopping to check what the latest liberal gun laws are because they're already breaking all these other laws. Yet Justin Trudeau has decided that in order to increase safety in our cities, he's going to go after Grandpa Joe. He's passing new laws and banning new firearms because he believes that the real threat in Canada is Grandpa Joe. I want to run you through some of the guns that are being banned by Justin Trudeau that he thinks are going to keep people safer in communities that have experienced a lot of these violent crime increases. So this is the Webley and Scott wild fowl gun. This is literally a gun to go bird hunting with. I don't believe that there's ever been a case of someone transporting illegal drugs across major cities carrying one of those. This is the Parker gun. This is an antique model. It's a break action or breech action, so you kind of break it open to put the rounds in. You would never use this if you're a criminal, unless maybe you're planning on holding up the next stagecoach that rolls by. This one is called the Mossberg Plinkster. As the name suggests, it's for plinking small targets at a few yards away. And the Wesley Richards Rook and Rabbit rifle. I never even heard of what a rook was. Apparently it's a close cousin of the crow. These are the types of firearms that we're talking about. Justin Trudeau wants you to believe that he's taking action. What's actually happening is he's making our communities more dangerous by letting violent criminals out, and instead he's cracking down on poor Grandpa Joe. He's turning Grandpa Joe into a criminal and making it harder for him to do what he's done for years. Enjoy legal firearms in a responsible manner to pass on his traditions to his children and grandchildren. That's who Justin Trudeau's going after. What Justin Trudeau's hoping to do is to prey on people's emotions. There are a lot of Canadians that are uncomfortable around firearms. A lot of Canadians choose not to own one, and I respect that. There's also a lot of Canadians, a significant percentage, who enjoy and use them legally and responsibly. I'm one myself, and when I went through my course to get my license, I was struck by how safety conscious Canada's firearms community is. And they don't just do that for me, they do that for every single person that they instruct and that they certify. It's part of the entire culture in the firearms community. Safety first. Nobody wants to have an accident. Everyone wants to use their firearms legally, responsibly, and safely. So he's preying on people's emotional response to firearms in general and lying to them by telling those Canadians that he's only going after the most dangerous, when in reality he's going after the legal firearms community in Canada. It is so disingenuous, but it's so typical of Justin Trudeau, isn't it? If you're watching this video and you are represented by an NDP or Liberal member of Parliament, you can do something about this. Pick up the phone, call their office, write them an email, tell them that if they vote against Grandpa Joe, you'll vote against them. You can count on Pierre Poilievre and the entire Conservative team to do everything we can to defeat this legislation, not just to preserve the rights of hunters and farmers, but also to make sure that valuable police resources are going after the real criminals, the drug dealers, and the gun smugglers, and not Grandpa Joe and his friends. So I hope this short video has helped you understand the debate that's going on in Ottawa right now around firearms. And as always, thanks for watching. Feel free to leave comments below.